This is my first visit to the capital city of the United States of America. Join me today as I visit and discover the many interesting sights that make Washington, D.C. such a wonderful place. Alright, so I've arrived at the Washington Monument. Check it out, just behind me. It's quite an imposing figure. The Washington Monument was built in 1884 in honor of the first United States President George Washington at a cost of $1.18 million. It has a height of 169 meters, weighs 91,000 tons, and is made of granite faced with Maryland marble. It contains an elevator that can take visitors to the observation deck in 70 seconds. It was briefly closed in 2011 due to quake damage and was reopened to the public in 2014. The National World War II Memorial honors the 16 million people who served as part of the US Armed Forces during World War II, including the 400,000 men and women who died. It was dedicated on 29 May 2004 by President George W. Bush. Annually, it receives 4 million visitors. The memorial has 56 granite columns which symbolize the 48 states, 7 federal territories, and the District of Columbia. The Atlantic and Pacific arcs are two 13-meter-high triumphal arcs that represent victory in the Atlantic and Pacific theaters of World War II. Each arc has 4 bronze eagles holding a large wreath, whilst the World War II Victory Medal is located at the floor. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool is the largest reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. It was constructed in 1922. Annually, it is visited by about 24 million people, and it is the site of many historic events like the famous "I Have a Dream" speech by Martin Luther King on August 28, 1963. This was attended by 250,000 people. Next is the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, which is the most visited tourist site in Washington, D.C. This was opened in 1922. The statue stands at 19 feet tall and was built in honor of Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated on 14 April 1865 as the Civil War was ending. Built in 1793 atop Jenkins Hill, the Capitol Hill is the venue where the House of Representatives and Senate meets to create laws and to govern the nation. It was built at a historical cost of $133 million and is the 5th tallest building in Washington, D.C. at a height of 88 meters. It's almost surreal just standing here knowing that January 2021 there were some fierce riots and some people lost their lives, but yeah. This can happen even in a modern democracy, but anyway, I'm not talking politics today, but it's quite an outstanding piece of architecture. In fact, the whole of Washington is, but this is just amazing. Check it out. Built in recognition of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, it was completed in 1943 under the presidency of Franklin Roosevelt. This circular building is inspired by the Pantheon of Rome, and inside is the 6-meter-high large bronze statue of Thomas Jefferson. The DC War Memorial was completed in 1931 and was made almost entirely of Vermont marble. It was built to commemorate the over 26,000 people from the District of Columbia who performed service in World War I. And probably one of my most favorite memorials is the Martin Luther King Memorial. This was opened in August 2011 and it includes the Stone of Hope, a 9-meter granite statue of civil rights leader Martin Luther King. The memorial contains a 114-meter-long inscription wall which includes excerpts from many of King's sermons. This was the first memorial built to honor a Black American on the National Mall. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech is considered one of the greatest pieces of American oratory. In 1964, he became the youngest person to receive the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of his work to end racial segregation. Officially, I'm touching the rock that has made this statue celebrating the life of the slain American civil rights leader, Martin Luther King Jr.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Okay, the White House behind me, as you can see. Oval Office. The White House is the oldest federal building in Washington, D.C., and it attracts about 1.5 million visitors annually. It was built at a cost of $232,000 and was ready for occupation in November 1800. As the official residence and workplace of the President of the United States of America, it consists of 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, and 6 levels. The Oval Office. Live in HD. That's the White House there. Looks a little bit smaller than it normally does on television, but I think it's maybe because of the angles that the media streams by. But that's the Oval Office. That's Joe Biden's current residency. It is, you know, the US election will be in November this year, so you may or may not have a change of leadership, but it's got a beautiful ground. It's a fountain at the front, and you can see some members of the Secret Service up on the roof. And yeah, very, very beautiful area. Strategically important, of course, for political reasons, but that's the seat of power for the US president right there. I came with high expectations in Washington, D.C., and the city with all its Masonic buildings, museums, and parks did not disappoint. Definitely I'll return in the future. Remember to subscribe, like and share, and hit the notification bell.